seconds. Now you got to do something. Service from 15 feet away.
Welcome to Time Out with Chad Bell. Each show will find and interview the best of the best. Often in sports, people only hear about the stories of perfection and believe that there is a formula to becoming successful. The stories you'll hear here are just as great, realistic, and more importantly, attainable. We want to focus on empowering youth, coaches, athletes, and everyday persons to show that they too can overcome obstacles against all odds. This is Time Out with Chad Bell. Welcome. We're back at it. Time Out. Of course, I'm your host, Chad Bell. So excited today. We got a wonderful guest in the building today. I'm so excited about this show. It's going to be really, really special. I like to start off with this show just talking about why are we doing this show? Why does this show exist? We're doing this show for the youth. I wanted to come together with some great, fantastic people and really, really help the youth. And that's through conversation, through basketball players, coaches, football players, actors, whoever, just to help and show a map and a guide towards being successful. So that's why we're here. And each episode, we're going to dig a little deeper and expose as much as we can to help those out there working with the youth and the youth, so on and so forth. So I'm really excited. I got my co-host here, Carlos Clemente.
Hey.
How you doing, brother?
How you doing, man?
Oh, I'm
Good
wonderful.
to see you.
Good to see you, man.
Yeah.
You looking good, man.
Yeah, a little makeup, little touch up. Yeah, I'll hang in there.
Hey, I want to be like you when I grow up, man.
Okay. Well, that's a long way then.
Yeah, so we have a very, very special guest in the building. I think audience is going to really, really love who we have here today. It's going to help some people.
I think so. I really do. I'm looking forward to this. He's going to teach me a few things.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Hey, an old dog is never too old to learn. So
That's right.
That's how I keep it.
That's right. Well, I learned a heck of a lot from you, man, and I'm very thankful. I'm going to learn a lot from this guest that we have. So without further ado, we have a special guest here. This brother has done tremendous things. He's very established in the sports world. He's an NBA champion multiple times over. He's well known all over for his work in health and wellness and in business and entertainment. Without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, John Salley.
Yo. Thank you. That was wonderful. I like that. I need to have you work for me.
Hey, I'm available. Let me know what's up, John. We could do some work together, brother. I'm glad to have you on the show today.
Oh man, it's my pleasure, man. I look forward to it. I'm in my studio, but for some reason, my stuff didn't quite get where it needed to be, so I had to, improvise with this cell phone. Sorry.
It's all good, brother. It's all good. Well, we have you here. That's the most important part. So I just wanted to get into it. We know about your basketball career. We know you won championships. You played with amazing players. You yourself was an amazing player. You did some great things playing in the NBA. And a lot of these kids that watch the show they have those aspirations. But what I want to talk to you about, the stuff you've done outside of basketball. A lot of times we don't think about life after playing a sport. And it seems to me that you mastered a hell of a transition. So I just want to start off talking about what was that process like where you start to think about life outside of basketball, getting into entertainment, getting into being a entrepreneur, health and wellness. Let's talk a little bit about that.
Okay, so I had a coach one time. I was in this thing called AFB, which turned into the Nike camp, and it was a great experience. And AFB stood for athletes, athletes after basketball. I think it was athletes for better education. That's what it was. And one of the things they spoke about is the life expectancy of a professional basketball player, which if you got in, maybe 3 to 4 years. And I realized that if I got in 19, 20, or even 22 like I did, and if there was only 4 years, I'd be 26 years old. So I had to start thinking of everything in my life and everything I wanted to do. The fact that I was able to manifest the position of being in a professional sports, basketball in particular. Yeah, I'm 7 foot tall. I grew to that. But there's a lot of 7 foot tall people who couldn't get into the NBA. And I found out 1 out of every American is an NBA basketball player. So that means I was 1 in a million. So if I can manifest myself in being a basketball player, the other things I wanted to do, I should be able to do. So produce music, be in movies as an actor, as a producer, direct, get into the cannabis business, get into the crypto world, finding out what that is, starting a new show, a new idea. You can do anything you want. You got 24 hours, God willing. As long as you can work or do what you want to do, all you have to do is put your mind to it, and it's a focus. I also found out that I was a trailblazer. And in saying that, that means I was going to do things and other people were going to come behind it because the path has been laid. O.J. Simpson laid it, when I was growing up, O.J. Simpson, I know people are going to flip, but he was the one on television. He was the one everybody liked. He spoke well. He looked good. He had a swag to him. And I already had the swag and I already looked good. I just had to pick on what I wanted to do. New York. So that was the deal. I just realized that if I want to do it, do it. I wanted to be a late night talk show host. I wanted to be like Johnny Carson. I started setting that up while I was playing, I guess my 3rd year in the league of being on television, getting used to being in front of the camera, talking. I took voice lessons. I had speech lessons. It's 2 different things, being able to speak.
Right.
I read a word a day in the dictionary, just in case anybody threw a word up there. The situation I talked about, this writer one time said to one of my teammates, "What does it feel like now that you lost your anonymity?" And he said, "What's that?" And at first everybody would have been like, but of course, half the people didn't know what anonymity was. And so I just so no one would ever get me in the King's language, I try to prepare myself to be able to speak the King's language.
Now, who helped you with this? You had to have some guidance for this. So how did you get that direction?
I was raised a Jehovah's Witness. My mom's, we grew up in Brooklyn, and I was born in the 60s. So, you know what I always tell people? They used to have these commercials that stopped in the 90s called United Negro College Fund. And it kept pushing us to go to college. And it kept pushing us to have education. So my mentality was, when I saw somebody do it, I go, I can do that. I don't know if I can do it better, but I can do that. And so I worked at doing every single thing I've ever wanted to do. When somebody, I'm the biggest fan, and everyone that's known me 15, 16 years ago when I had Kanye West on my radio show, I knew he was who he said he was going to be. Wow. And I said it. I took pictures. I even have it recorded. I just believe when people say that they're going to do something, they do it. The ones who talk about it and talk about other people don't do it. So the guidance was seeing people do things, trying to investigate where they made the mistakes and not make those mistakes on the path. And that became it. I just realized also being a person of color to some people was a handicap. But in this situation, it wasn't, because it was so few of us in this position that you might as well go for it. It wasn't a lot of people. And that's what I did. The fact that Chad has a podcast now is amazing to me, In 2011, I started a podcast called Spider and the Henchman with Kevin Henchman. We were on the Adam Carolla network. And we had the #1 sports podcast above ESPN because we were ahead. We were there before they even started. So I know it can be done. And look at all the podcasts now. Not all of them is good. This one is a good one. And let me tell you why I know it's a good one, because I'm on it. I won't do any bad things, man. The deal is, if they go, oh, I want you on my podcast, and I look and I see that whack, I'm not going to be a part of whackness.
Right.
Just not. So my guidance was literally inside me. I've been one of those kids. And the reason I mentioned Jehovah's Witness, because people would understand how, you know, I had to be forced to do things, knock on the door on Saturday morning, study all the time.
Yeah.
But it gave me a discipline, and discipline outweighs, or what does it say? Discipline shows up on time where inspiration doesn't. So I was definitely determined and focused.
That is awesome, man. And one of the things that, especially when talking with young people, they have all these ideas. What's really dope about you, John, you've done a lot, but you've actually went out and did it. Like, you hear kids say, oh, I want to do this, I want to do that. But talk to me about the mental process of actually going out and do it. I could say I want to run to the top of a mountain, but if I don't want to put the steps forward, I'm never going to get there. So what's your mental approach to that?
Mental approach is the magic of believing. And I always say this because, you know, I talk to a lot of Christians. The man on the road to Damascus said to Jesus, he said, Jesus, I want to walk. And Jesus said, do you believe? He said, yes. He said, then get up and walk. And the man got up and walked. He didn't say, did you believe in me? He said, do you believe that you can walk? So the mentality is, anybody out there, the best thing about the internet is everybody's becoming a creator in there on this end, not realizing they already are the creator. And it's not just young folks. Like, you don't have to have an age to where you want to take your life. It's your life. Of course, when I retired from basketball, and I could have kept playing and, you know, stealing money, but I told my wife I wanted to go into Hollywood full time, and she looked at me like I was crazy. But since then, I've been in 17 movies and 66 shows.
Wow.
And I hosted close to 14 shows. So once you determine what direction you want to go, God willing, your surrounding group is strong enough to roll with you.
All right, John, you know, when you were talking about all your shows and everything, I remember when you did the Best Damn Sports
Show, period.
I used to watch that all the time. And the discipline it takes for that, because you got all these egos together and whatever. What was your goal in doing that show, and how has that helped you transition into what you're doing now?
Well, first thing, I thank everybody over at Fox Sports Net, all the executive producers and everything. They taught me everything. I asked every question. When the set designer was putting the set together, when we had to figure out how I looked in a chair and why it was important to how I looked in the chair, to the clothes I was wearing, to making sure I do my own makeup now. I didn't do it now. I just look this good. But that's all lighting, baby. You got to make sure you got your lights. If you want to do it, you want to be in it. If you say you want to be a filmmaker, you should know everything about that film. You should understand what it takes for each of those people. When you watch a movie, the credits for amount of people that worked on a movie, you might say, I didn't see all those people. Right, you didn't need to, but all those people made sure it was a finished product. So on the Best Damn Sports Show, I'm not really a sports fan. Like, what I mean by that is, I played basketball, and I love football, but I'm not really good at watching other people do it. Football I can watch, but basketball, it's kind of hard for me to watch other people do it. And it's not a selfish thing. It's just that I'm a performer. I'd rather be on the court, on the stage. And when I see it, you know, I already know what's going to happen. I literally mess games up for people. If we're watching a full court game, I can tell you who's about to get the foul. I can tell you, I can. I said, oh, he got hit with an elbow. Ref didn't see it. He's mad. He's all of a sudden he ain't thinking basketball anymore. I already know, So I realize that most people are spending a lot of time. You set your day up to watch the game. I don't take 2 hours out of my life to watch somebody else perform. But those 2 hours I can be doing crunches, pull-ups, working on my camera equipment. Obviously, I didn't get enough time. But it's you need to keep focused on the things you want to do. That's not being a workaholic. That's literally being disciplined. Discipline to me is the most important thing out of anything. You have to be disciplined. If you're not disciplined, what you say you want doesn't come.
Absolutely.
You can say you want something, but if you don't put the work to it, it's not going to get there.
Absolutely. That's so key, especially for young people, understanding the discipline, like John is talking about, like you're talking about. That discipline could take you a long way, because it's a process of a everyday discipline of doing the same thing, willing to put that work in. So John, let's talk a little bit about, you spend your days around your teammates, your coaches, so on and so forth. You do that for so long. Then you break into the late night talk show industry. That's a whole different thing.
Yeah. So let me tell you. When I was 11, I went to Winston-Salem, North Carolina, and my second cousin, my mother's cousin, they're twins, Ike and Jake, and they used to let me sit up and watch Johnny Carson, and it'd be like, "Here's Johnny." He used to say, "Excuse me." So I always wanted to do that. I thought it was cool to sit down and ask people what they're doing, have fun with comedians and all kind of. So I thought that was a great idea. So when I was playing for the Raptors, I got Isaiah to let me go. I had to give up $750,000, but that was
you rich,
I was a free
rich.
slave.
You rich.
I was a free slave in the NBA.
You rich.
I own my rights. Now, ain't a lot of people can say that, but that's a true statement. I may laugh and smile about it, but you have to pull your rights back. And I literally, with my manager at the time, in a restaurant, they put crayons on the table with the paper, Italian restaurant. So kids, I'm a kid, and I drew out the late night show, and it was the John Salley show on Buena Vista. I pitched it to Sony, and then I got a text from the Bulls, and I told my agent at the Chicago Bulls, he said, "You got to go win a championship." So I left. When I came back, I went into Buena Vista. They bought it in the room. So I had an idea and a great platform. I was 32 years old. They then messed up and put Keenan Ivan Wayans in my spot, and then they started the Magic Johnson show. Wow. And that, depression kicked in, but I realized maybe the university wasn't ready. And then 3 years later, I'm on BET Live for 65 shows. I interviewed Denzel, Snoop, first time being interviewed on TV, Sade, Girlfriends, Funkadelic. Wow. And I put 65 shows together, and I realized this is a little bit harder than I thought, but I got it done. And I liked it. And then I did, Best Damn Sports Show. And in the same process, went back to BET and did Ballers with Guy Torrey and Hugh. And then I did my own show on the Reels channel called Game On with John Salley. I don't know if y'all saw that, but I literally kept pushing, whether it was cable, whether no matter what it was, there was a check involved, and I was doing the work to get it done.
That's amazing. That is amazing. So, to me, one thing that I see a lot of athletes do, and they do it for the greater good, they use the fact that they're in a special group in a fraternity. Like
Omega Psi Phi fraternity. I thought you were talking about Q side.
Hey, represent. So you got to use resources. Like I feel like you use your basketball career as a stepping stone, and you're able to be going in different circles, and you were able to utilize your resources. How important was that, being able to do that, to help you do all these wonderful things in business and entertainment?
Well, who put us together is Laurie. And Laurie will tell you, I just did a show with VH1 with the wonderful AJ Johnson as the host, and I'm a co-host on a couples retreat on VH1. And, you know, they wanted me to be more egotistical. Yolanda Starks, I'm going to drop your name. They want, man, you know what you've done. It doesn't make a difference. You have to audition every time. You have to be humble. Not everybody has seen it. And then when you go in those rooms, I was able to get places because I was able to have an agent, because I was an athlete. And I was able to convince that agent that this is what I wanted to do and put me in the spots. I tell people this all the time. I got 1,000 no's to the one yes you saw me on television. It used to bother him so much. And I said, man, I was a Jehovah's Witness. People used to slam doors in my face. Like, you think I care? We know what it does? It tells you to get up, go to the next door. So if one door is not open, the next door, you keep knocking. What I'm doing now with the John Salley Crypto Show.com and what I'm doing in Web3 and in crypto is I own everything I'm doing except this show that I'm on right now, 100%. And I'm selling it to people who want to see it. I'm not sitting around waiting for YouTube to give me 21 cents of a penny. I'm getting every dollar that comes in that door. And then I'm the one determining who gets this and where. And it took me, I would say, this 25 years of this learning on how to do television, on how to do TV for myself. And I'm gonna tell you, Chad, we were supposed to get on a couple of weeks ago, and I just kept saying to her, I want to get on because in the next 6 months, I'm going to be through the roof, and it's going to be everywhere. And it's by that time, I would say in the next 3 years, the way we're on the internet now is the way we're going to be on Web3. And on Web3, you're direct to consumer. There's no more having to hopeful that this happens and that happens. The sponsors are sitting there begging. Look at what the sponsors did to Crypto.com and FTX Arena. Like, they are putting the money up to be seen. So I jumped in on this half, and hopefully in the next 5 years, I can be an OG still making the dollars.
All right. As an OG, I got some questions. Okay?
Yeah.
All right. I don't understand everything about crypto. All right.
No one does.
All right. Now, how are you taking everything that you learn? Financial literacy is one thing that young people in my time didn't have. All right. You're a little bit younger than me. All right.
Yeah.
So you had some of the same issues growing up. How are you taking and spreading financial literacy to people so they can be like a John Salley?
So I deal with it in case people want to check it out. I did something a little while ago with the Wizards of Wall Street, I think it is, a young brother named Mr. Thompson out of Detroit, who literally teaches it up in San Francisco. With TikTok and Instagram, there is no more excuse to financial illiteracy. There is none. If a young person tells you, I don't know how to do it, they're lying, because everything they do is, I started my own business, buy my eyelashes. I started my own business, buy my makeup. I started my own business, these are my clothes. I started my own business, this is my NFT. They know. The deal is to convince them not to buy a Bentley. Not a brand new one. To convince them, I got a guy right now selling a Bentley for $50,000. I said, I'll see you in about a month. Hell yeah, I'm gonna get that Bentley for $50,000. No, I'm not. But you're at this point, and it's funny you say that. When we were younger, there was no financial literacy, because we as a people, Black people, have been designed not to work together, and so the ideas you would get would be from your grandmother and from this, and they were broke. Now there's enough people with money to pay attention to. The reason I like crypto and Web3 is there are no color lines. You got the money, you buy the tokens, you win. There's no velvet rope. There's no white people Black people watercolor drinking fountains. That has been a thing of the past. Right now, you can do what you want. And the reason I pick it is you don't have to rely on demand. And we know what I mean by that.
Yeah.
So is crypto something that you encourage people to get education on? Is this something for everybody, or is this something that some people need to stay away from?
It's something for everybody. You know, I'm in the cannabis business too with my daughter Tyler, and we own a brand called Deuces 22. And we have in the crypto space a thing we're working in now called CannaDAO, DOA. And people can invest, put money in, and be a part of a wave of things that are great. People can realize that what Gary Vee, one of the dopest guys in the world, said, hey, instead of buying the lattes and going to the nightclub and buying new clothes and getting the new PlayStation and the way you save up, invest your money. Put your money, buy the Bitcoin. Bitcoin fixes everything. I'm on the Bitcoin, and I'm not talking about any other coins. Bitcoin. Put your money where the big guys put their money, where Tesla has its money, where I think 19 of the top 500 have their money. They're buying cryptocurrency, Bitcoin in particular. Put your money there and watch it grow. Watch it grow. Do your own nails. Comb your own hair. Use natural products. Like, you will see the difference. Stay healthy, and you won't have to pay for doctors. You won't have to pay for extra clothes because you gain weight. You won't have to you don't have to worry about days off because you won't have to take any because you'll be healthy, and healthy is wealthy. So there's a bunch of ways of getting them to understand. And, you know, back in the day, of course, they're going to say we only saw the dope dealers with the money. You know, we all saw the preachers and whatever. Well, then think about that. Learn to talk. Get that dough. If you can sell something, you would never be broke.
Absolutely, absolutely. Speaking of eating healthy, there's a myth going around Los Angeles. If you go to a really good vegan restaurant, you might run into John Salley.
Yeah, that's not a myth. That's not a myth. I support my community. I also am part owner of 2 restaurants.
Okay.
One in Compton called Planet Health Compton, 546 West Compton Boulevard. We're doing an event this Saturday. Come check us. And then Planet Cafe Organics out in San Bernardino, which on the way to Palm Springs, so there's no excuse to anybody going. And we, you know, it took me a second in the first one to convince my partners, one, how much better they would feel by not having dead carcasses in our freezer, and how they would feel becoming vegan. And they did, and they lost unbelievable weight, not just physical, but mental. And you will see me at these restaurants, like usually people there's only one steakhouse I go to. It's called, there we go. The one steakhouse in Hollywood is called Craig's. And because Craig became vegan, but he couldn't stop his family's money. I ain't getting into that. But half of the money is vegan. Half of the menu is vegan. And the world is changing. A couple of years ago, there was like 0.0% vegan. I think now America is 3% vegan. As you notice, they're selling oat milk and almond milk and beyond burgers and sausages and everything to get you away from eating dead carcass. So I like supporting those who are supporting the movement.
Absolutely. Well, you look like you're in some really good shape. You can tell that you're treating your body well.
Carlos, how old are you, Carlos?
I'm 66, man.
Damn. I'm sorry.
I'm proud of it.
I don't know what that damn means.
That look good. That 66 look good, boy.
Yes, sir.
And $3.
Man.
And $3.
Wow. Yeah, I got 4 of them.
Well, we'll never have hair again.
No, not me. I don't even pay attention.
All right. All right.
So how did you get into you're considered a vegan activist. So how did that seed get planted for you?
Oh, Adrian Dantley was my OG, was my vet.
Shout out to Adrian Dantley, NBA legend.
And Adrian Dantley, we were in Milwaukee. He said, "Hey, I'm gonna buy you lunch today." I was like, "Word?" Yeah, he said, go ahead, order anything you want. I said, anything I want? Yeah. I want lady, I want a cheeseburger, fries on the side, and a strawberry shake. And I handed AD the phone, and he laughed, and he said, bring me a half a sandwich and a soup. And at 4:30, bring me another half a sandwich and a soup. I said, that's all you're going to eat? He said, yeah. And so we eat the food, you take a nap. And when AD was like, don't forget my bag, because I was still a rookie. And I get over there, you got to be there by 6 o'clock. I get over there at 5:55. AD had been there, 5 o'clock stretching and heat. And we're playing an exhibition game. And this is against Jack Sikma and Randy Brewer. Now, these are two well-known, big, slow white guys. And I'm not slow. And they were destroying me. And Chuck said to me, what's wrong with you? I sit down next to AD, and he looks around. Sit down till you get your head right. And AD looks at me and said, how that cheeseburger treat me? And I looked at him, and he said, man, you can't be a high-octane athlete eating low-octane food. He said, he said, the food supposed to give you energy, not make you sleepy and play like garbage. From that point on, I started paying attention to what I was eating. And then in 91, I got tired of having lower back pain. I got tired of having acne. I got tired of my feet stinking. I got tired of having bad attitudes. And I got my first colonic, Dr. Jewel Pookrum at her place in Detroit. And when it cleaned me out, and then I started eating microbiotic at that time, I lost, I think, 14 pounds. That means I was full of it. And I was playing better. I know my cousin said I got darker. It looked like a burnt match running up and down the court, jumping around.
That's hilarious.
but what happened is I had energy through the roof. And then I realized, we want plants to live well. We don't feed them garbage. We feed them, we give them nutrients, we show them love, we give them light, and the plant blooms. Look how beautiful my plant is. That's your body. We're made from the same carbon as those plants. So that's what we supposed to eat. We're herbivores. Everybody wants to be as strong as the ox, and they forget the ox eats grass.
Absolutely. So, a lot of times kids get caught up into the hamburgers, fries, pizza.
That's their parents' fault.
Yeah. So
that's 100%. That's 100% home grooming. When you try to rush and give your kid food, it's called fast food. You want to give it to them to shut them up, but really you're destroying them, right? You're giving them, what do you call it? You're giving them sugar. You're giving them GMO foods. You're forcing something that could literally, you can buy one of those fast foods. I'm not going to mention the name, and it could literally not decompose. So what's it going to do inside your body? And then that right there builds them with low self-esteem. That builds them on not understanding how to nourish their body, not working on developing their brain. And your brain can expand just from fasting. That's a whole nother conversation. We don't have the time. But when you teach them how to feed their soul and their avatar, that's what I call this. I say we're just a skin bag of bones. Once you learn how to take care of that skin bag of bones, you look like, the OG right there. Curtis, look, man, I thought he was in his 50s.
Oh,
I'm not joking.
Thank you,
only because you said OG. I thought 52, 53. You look great, man. So Carlos, I take my hat off to you.
All right. Well, I got you. All right. What advice would you give yourself, your younger self, that you could pass on to now?
Oh, man. I do this all the time. I cannot go back in time. I've been trying to time travel to go back and leave messages for myself. But there was a lot of women, so I wouldn't have. I kept saying, man, if I could have not talked to her. My younger self, I would go to Colombia once a year and then not talk to a girl all year. That's what I would give myself advice to do. The one thing I would say is stay with a routine. Get up in the morning, fall down to those 50 push-ups, drink a liter of water before you do it, before you eat anything else, stretch, do yoga, Pilates, breathe, and I would get out of the mix as much as possible. I'm a city kid. I love it. But right now, if I go to New York City, I hear the sirens every 15 minutes. But when I go up in the mountains, I literally hear myself. So I would definitely stick to a routine on what I do with my body, because that's going to help me, my ego. You look at yourself and you look good, your ego kicks in. I would also tell myself to control and monitor my ego. A healthy ego is good. A hyper ego is not.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So obviously, currently you got a lot of great stuff going on. Let's talk about some of that stuff. I see your shirt, John Salley Crypto Show. Talk a little bit about that and how people can catch it. Where is it going? What channel, what platform it will be on? Let's talk about that a little bit.
All right. So this will be the only show on the Bitcoin platform. It go through NFT Glee. I have a token that you can buy to get in to see all the things we're doing. That's johnsalleycryptoshow.com. I am the platform. That's the difference. I'm not worried on YouTube or Spotify, or I am the platform. I wondered, just to let you know, I said, man, they gave Joe Rogan $90 million. That must mean they're making $900 million.
Absolutely.
Right? You ain't going to pay the artist 50%. You're going to give them 10%, 20% if you're lucky, if you're Oprah. Mm-hmm. So that's that. So you can go to the johnsalleycryptoshow.com and navigate your way through. I have a movie coming out. I can't say the date, but this spring on Disney Plus called Sneakerella. I play King, Darius King. Wow. And like I said, in June, I have a show coming out on VH1 with the great host, AJ Johnson, called Couples Retreat. And it's a trip we helping celebrity Black couples, which people don't think, they go through things too. Obviously they go through things because that's who we read about in the tabloids, but they have a lot of things because they're still human. Even though they're celebrities, they're still human. So we try to help do that as well. The crypto show with my daughter, Tyler, we haven't named it yet, but I plan on either syndicating that or putting it on the platform itself. And I got an artist named Veda Veli. That's my first artist coming out, and we're doing the visuals and her music, and we're selling it as NFTs. And I'm trying to convince people that NFT is the way of the future.
So NFT, for those who are out there that don't know what that is, can you break it down just a little bit, just generally speaking, the NFTs?
Yeah, I can. johnsalleycryptoshow.com.
All right. There you have it.
I'm not giving away nothing free. An NFT is a non-fungible token, which a dollar is a non-fungible token. It is what it is. A dollar is a dollar. NFT is an NFT. The difference is with this, I doubt you can be bamboozled unless you want to be, because you purchasing NFT off the blockchain, there's a smart contract proving that you did it. So you have an authentic piece. Usually there's not an unlimited amount. There's literally a cap to what it is. So just like in art, if you have a piece of art that says 1 of 100, 1 of 10, it's of a different value. So an NFT is just another way of saying your product official, your product authenticated through the blockchain, which is done with a smart contract. So, and the difference with a smart contract, it's a ledger, right? That's what the blockchain is a ledger. And the smart contract explains, you can see every transaction. It's open to everybody. There's no behind the scenes. There's no hidden anything.
Question. All right, it may be a little bit off, but with all the crypto, the Bitcoin, with what's going on in the world, how can this all be tied together? How can someone be optimistic about being involved in crypto or Bitcoin?
Scared money doesn't make money. And all that's going on in the world, if you see the Russian rubles or dollars are down to whatever, that's because they were in dollars. So if you were an oligarch and you had all your money in Russian money, you'd be in a situation right now. So a lot of them have it in other countries' money, in foreign exchange, and they're being touched. that just prove somebody can literally go and seize your accounts. That's ridiculous. When you have, in the crypto world, you have a wallet, you can put it in a decentralized place, which is your place, which is your wallet, which is your safe. They can't shut your safe down because they can't get into your wallet like they can with currencies now. So for those people who didn't understand it, put it this way. You can put your money in a mattress and hope your house don't burn down or get robbed. Or you can put it in the bank and they're going to rob you because they're only going to give you 1.5% interest for you holding your money in the bank, and they're going to use it and make 10%. You could get into your own life insurance policy and be your own bank, and then figure out this is this. When that is stuck in that amount, it's in it. I said before, if you're going to invest in the index of both things. Invest in the index in the blockchain and in the stock market. They usually pay 24% no matter what's going on. And I've learned, being an American, they ain't gonna let the money get in the way. They're not gonna give up their money. So wherever the big guys are putting their money, that's where the money's gonna be, because they won't go broke.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So yes, brother, you got so many wonderful things going. So what, you got your movie coming up, you got a lot of good things coming up. What's next after that? I know you mentioned your restaurants, one being in Compton, the other out there in
we gotta get a discount
Empire
too.
Oh yeah, I need that. Now you know what? I don't want a discount. I want to pay full price.
And I want you to.
No, I want my senior citizen. No, I want my senior citizen discount. That's what I want.
And I have senior citizen AARP discounts.
Okay, thank you. All right, I'll be there.
You know, I say that because I hate when people have businesses and the first thing they want is a hookup. So I'm not gonna be that. I'm not gonna be that guy.
Today's price is not yesterday's price.
That's right. Shout out to Fat Joe.
Shout out to Fat. So to give you an example, what's next? Doing a lot of shows with my daughter. I think we're going to Berlin in June for cannabis. So there's the ICBC, which is the International Cannabis Business Council. And we literally are going there to talk, because she's in the top 50 women in cannabis, according to High Times. She's 25 years old. She's an amazing human being, smartest person in the house. And she sees how heavy that can be, because I gave it to her. And you know, travel the world with my daughters and let them see other parts of the world and see how being an entrepreneur can show you these things. Not talking against people who work 9 to 5s. That's a great thing to get you up and going. But I teach my daughters entrepreneurship. And when else were they going to be able in June to go to Berlin and somebody else pay for it, right? Mm-hmm. And they get to benefit from it. In the work, making sure my artists' music gets to as many places as we can possibly get them to, get her to. What else besides that? Besides living well and thinking of wonderful things, we just heard today that in the city of Inglewood, which is
my home city, shout out to Inglewood.
Yeah, you know, the world champion Rams. We are literally going to put a Planet Health in Inglewood, hopefully 3,500 square feet, so people can literally get good food, be in a good environment. The vibration when you walks in literally puts you in a good space, and putting that as many places here as possible to start off, and then see about it moving. I have my ideas for a lot of other businesses, but now that I'm older and wiser, I just want to grow what I have. And then, as I said, the mistake I made as a young person is when I first got money, I fed people from the tree. Now I feed people fruit from the tree. So if I were to start off, I would not have given a dime away to anyone. I would have still act like I was in college, lived off, because I proved I didn't need any money to live. So when I got the pros, the rest of it was just dumb. I would get the place I want, to be a nice environment, but I would literally keep contributing to my life insurance policy. And then when I make money, I pay people from the percentage. I wouldn't touch anything of the principal. Those kind of things you have to explain. I'm with a group right now. We're putting together to help young athletes and entertainers manage their money. And when they come in, I got a big whiteboard and I say, hey, we're going to be here for a little bit. Write down everything you've ever wanted when you were a kid, when you're an adult, that you think you want now, that you've seen, put it on the board. And so we go through everything. And then we put up the amount of money they have and what it costs. And that's what it's going to cost. And then if it's not an appreciating asset, meaning if it doesn't grow, then we can't do it. If it's a depreciating asset, we buy used. If you want a house and a home and you want your whole family to live in it, just understand, sometimes that's not the best idea. So there's a bunch I would teach and do. I think my show, John Salley Crypto Show, is going to be able to morph in so many things. That's just a platform.
Run down the websites. You got John Salley Crypto.
JohnSalley.com.
All right.
JohnSalleyCryptoShow.com.
All right. I need the restaurants. Websites.
Planet Health,
Okay.
Compton.
All right, because I got to check the menu out.
So in Planet Health Compton, we sell vegan soul food.
Okay.
So vegan food is
I'm
food
sold.
for your soul. But in
I'm
essence,
there.
yeah, I got collard greens mixed with kale.
All right.
I'll be there.
We got literally what I had the other day, a shrimp hero made with oyster mushrooms instead. Same kind of way. And Plant Organics. I mean, Plant Organics is off the chain. Cafe Organics. Why did I say Plant Organics? Cafe Organics in San Bernardino. The entire menu is off the chain. There's not a thing on the menu that you would not find delectable and tasty and filling. It changes everybody's mentality on vegan food. They go, man, I never had vegan. I said, you ever had pasta? Yes. You ever have fruit, vegetables? Yes. You had. Just don't put any butter or milk on it. You're good. No cow cheese. You're good.
Absolutely. Well, John, this has been amazing, man. You're a man of so much knowledge and a wealth of excellence in your life, and I really appreciate you taking the time out to join Time Out and talk about some wonderful things and inspire their youth and inspire people out there listening to the show. Thank you once again, and we hope that you can come back in the near future and share your future projects and your future endeavors. And we're going to check out those restaurants, and I look forward to the John Salley Crypto Show. That's going to be an amazing, amazing show.
Thank you, brother. You should buy an NFT, man. It's only $60, but it lets you in.
No,
Always
seriously.
a salesman.
No,
Always
seriously.
a salesman.
I'm gonna buy
You
5
gotta-
of those.
you gotta
There's
come
60
in.
right now. I'll buy 5 of those right now.
You should, because if you buy 5 of them now, you gonna trip out. It's called a secondary market. You can resell it for double what you pay for it.
I'm in.
If I was you, I'd buy 5, sell 4, make your money back, be happy about it, and then just sit around and live off the one.
No,
I'm
I'm
just
in.
telling you how it gets going.
No, I'm in. I play no games. I'm in.
Yeah, that's
Please believe me. Thanks once again, John. Thanks for listening out there. For those who listen today to Time Out, we will see you next time. Peace and blessings. Thank you for listening to Time Out.
Go vegan.